Hi everyone, in this video you're going to learn how you can graph equations using the y-intercept and the gradients. Alright, so let's have a look. Please make sure that you follow the steps and that you make notes in your own notebook, because each time you're doing the same, you're using the same steps to graph a formula. So when you're going to graph an equation, you first of course need to draw a set of axes. Do not forget the x and the y. So the first example. Please remember from the last video that our standard formula for linear equations is y equals mx plus c, where m is equal to the gradient and c is equal to the y-intercept. The gradient, the formula for the gradient, was equal to vertical divided by horizontal. Those two things are really important when we're going to graph lines. So, an example question. Draw the graph of y equals minus 2 plus 3 over 4x. Your first step is to have a look at what the gradient is and what the y-intercept is. We know that the lonely number, so just the number on its own, is called the y-intercept. And that the number before our x, so before our variable, is called the gradient. So 3 over 4 is our gradient. Then we're going to graph our equation. First, plot point minus 2. Since this is a y-intercept, so it intersects with our y-axis on minus 2. Our gradient tells us how many steps we go vertical and how many steps we go horizontal. In this case we have a fraction as gradient, so that makes it more easy for us. So we go 3 steps vertically, so like up or down, and 4 steps horizontally. Since we have a plus symbol over here, that means that we go 3 steps up on our positive axis. So when we go 3 steps up, this means that we'll go 4 steps horizontally. 4 steps. So then we plot our point. So we go 3 up, 4 horizontally, and there is our point. Then we draw a line through those points and we extend this line. So please make sure that you make this line longer than it needs to be, and that you also use arrows, since lines are infinite, so they go on and on and on. Alright, now we were lucky because now we had the fractions as a gradient. But what do you need to do when you have a negative fraction, gradient? So again, do never forget the x and the y. And in this example, you need to draw the graph of y equals minus 2x plus 4. First of all, the plus 4 is our y-intercept. And our minus 2 is our gradient. Our gradient is vertical divided by horizontal, so we need to make a division where our answer is minus 2. The most easiest one is minus 2 over 1, since minus 2 divided by 1 is equal to minus 2. Always choose the vertical one as the negative. So I've put in my vertical, the vertical steps are negative. So always choose the horizontal steps as positive. So always to that side. Alright, so this was called vertical. And this is our horizontal. But first you're going to plot your y-intercept. So plus 4 on our y-axis. Then we go minus 2 downwards because we need to go vertical. But since it's negative, we go down. So 1, 2. And we go a positive 1 horizontally. So 1. So this is where we plot our next point. Then we're going to draw a line, and please do not forget to extend these lines with arrows, since a line is infinite. As you can see, each time you're using the same steps. However, when you have a negative gradient, you need to go down on the y-axis, and when you have a whole number, so an integer, you need to make sure that you make a fraction out of it. You can always do that by dividing it over 1. If you have any questions, then please let me know, and otherwise make sure that you practice. Never forget to draw with a pencil, of course.